But let me tell you why the introduction of vaccine passports could literally lead to rivers of blood. In 1917, there were a group of rich farmers who had accumulated a lot of wealth in their community. After communism triumphed in 1917, under Stalin's leadership, he defined those kulaks as enemies of the state because they were capitalist and he was a communist. He declared that the kulaks had to be liquidated, and he created an us versus them. Within the next 3 years, the kulaks were stripped of their jobs, stripped of their families, exiled, deported, and executed by the national government. Why? Because of the introduction of what is arguably the most dangerous concept: us versus them. Less than 20 years later, a man commandeered an entire generation of people in Germany against one group of people. Us versus them. Hitler, in his book Mein Kampf, said that Jews had inflicted two mortal wounds upon humanity: the circumcision of the body and the introduction of the conscience in the moral law. He hated the Jews and blamed them for every economic and political ill that was happening to the people. Normal people, normal Jews, were being hunted down like animals by everyday Germans. Hitler believed in a superior race. He believed that the Aryans were stronger and therefore should survive. They were elevated above everyone else, and the Jews were subdued as the inferior race, and they were marked by a star, so that everyone in the society would know who was inferior and who was superior. In a very short time, 6 million Jews were murdered. Hitler inspired an entire people, a national government, inspired an entire people to hate their neighbor by creating a concept: us versus them. Less than 50 years later, on April 7th, 1994, a Hutu president was assassinated, sparking a genocide of proportions the world has never seen before. 6 people were killed every minute. In 100 days, 800,000 people were murdered. It happened in Africa, in Rwanda, because the Germans and the Belgians had colonized Rwanda. The colonizers literally believed that the Tutsis had more genetic superiorities than the Hutus. And so they gave them better jobs, gave them better accommodation, they gave them privileges. In fact, the Tutsis were given an identity card that would identify them as a superior race to the Hutus. This ultimately established the same ideology that was established in Stalin's Russia, in Hitler's Germany, and now in Rwanda. Us versus them. Guys, history is clear. In every example, in Rwanda, in Russia, and in Germany, it was the national government that initiated the edict that precipitated the genocide and the atrocities that took place in the land. I'm not against the national government. I am against the COVID vaccine passports. You can help to preserve the peace in Canada by refusing to get the vaccine passports. You can help to stop the repeat of history by refusing to get the vaccine passport. And if you're under 30, I'm speaking directly to you, because you are literally the only hope that we have left. The vaccine passports are no different than the stars that Hitler gave Jews to deem them as inferior. They're no different than the cards the Rwandans were given to deem them as superior. These vaccine passports will make a majority of people superior over a minority. They will literally create us versus them. We will be recreating the history of Germany and Rwanda and Russia again in Canada. We may not be able to define our past, but we can certainly define our future. Stand with me today and say no to vaccine passports. Whether you are vaccinated or unvaccinated, say no to vaccine passports. If you walk into a club or into a pub or into a restaurant and you see a person being discriminated against because they are vaccinated or not vaccinated, stand with them. If someone is kicked out because they are vaccinated or not vaccinated, stand with them. We are Canadians. We are nice people. We love our neighbors. This is not who we are. We don't fight our neighbors. We don't create enemies of our brothers and sisters. Stand with me today and preserve the peace and prosperity of this great nation. God bless you.